You're listening to the Cooking from Scratch podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Aaliyah, and I'm a trained chef who's passionate about helping you make healthy eating, especially high protein meals, delicious and doable. Today, we're diving into something that I know for many of you, myself included sometimes, can feel like a major hurdle when you're trying to stay healthy and get enough protein. We're talking about grocery shopping. Hi, I'm Aaliyah Iden, and with over 15 years of cooking in professional kitchens and at home for my family, this is the first non-cooking cooking podcast that shares how to make cooking easier so you can feel inspired and motivated to cook in the midst of your busy life. We go behind the scenes and tap into the stories and inspirations of chefs, farmers, and others working with food to reveal what they're up to in their kitchen right now and what their favorite at-home dish is to cook from scratch. This is the Cooking from Scratch podcast. This year, I've refocused the podcast and I'm leaning more into the healing aspect of homemade meals. A couple of years ago, I started eating high-protein meals, which resolved some health issues I was having. Then this fall, I started a cooking membership for high-protein eaters to share my favorite recipes and meal plans that I developed to help others on the same journey. When you tune into these episodes, you'll hear from health and fitness coaches and healers about the role and benefits of high-protein eating. Stay tuned for more. So be honest with me for a second. Do you ever feel that sense of overwhelm or maybe even a little dread when you think about grocery shopping for healthy meals? Like walking into that big store, aisles stretching out everywhere, and trying to figure out what protein should I actually buy and how do I pick the good stuff? And how do I do it without spending forever in there? Maybe you end up grabbing the same couple of things out of habit, or you leave feeling like you probably missed something, or you just feel completely lost trying to figure out what fits into a healthy plan. If that resonates with you, you are not alone. That feeling of confusion or intimidation at the shopping stage is honestly a major reason why it can feel so hard to stick to consistent high protein eating. It's true, cooking can sometimes feel complicated, or maybe you worry about making healthy food taste good. But if we can simplify that very first step, the shopping, it creates this wonderful ripple effect that makes meal planning, cooking, and actually eating those healthy meals so much easier down the line. So that's exactly what we're going to tackle today. I'm going to break down grocery shopping for high protein meals, specifically focusing on animal-based proteins, into simple, practical steps. My goal for you by the end of this episode is to feel more confident, more in control, and way less overwhelmed when you walk into the store. We're going to make shopping a clear, straightforward process so you can get the ingredients you need to build those delicious protein-packed meals you actually look forward to eating. Okay, so before we dive into the aisles, let's just quickly touch on why we're even focusing on high protein shopping in the first place. You probably already know protein is super important, but let's think about how it feels. Getting enough protein helps you feel satisfied after a meal, so you're not hungry again an hour later, right? It helps avoid those energy crashes later in the day. For us, especially over 40, it's crucial for supporting muscle strength and keeping our metabolism humming along. And ultimately, adequate protein fuels you to live your busy life and feel your best. But you can't get those benefits if the ingredients never make it into your kitchen. That's why the shopping trip is the essential first step. Getting the right ingredients home is what makes it possible to actually create those meals that give you that sustained energy and keep you feeling strong. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, choosing the actual proteins. This is where a lot of that overwhelm can creep in because there are so many options at the store. But we're going to simplify it right now. We're going to use a simple strategy I call the choose three. The idea is this: for your dinner meals this week, you're going to pick 3 different types of animal-based proteins from the store. That's it, just 3 types. Why 3? Well, it gives you enough variety to keep things interesting throughout the week, so you're not eating the exact same protein every single night, which I know can lead to that feeling of boredom. It also offers flexibility for your meal planning. If your original plan for one protein changes, you still have 2 other options you bought. And crucially, it drastically reduces that overwhelm in the protein aisle. You're not trying to decide between 10 different cuts or types of meat. You're just looking for your chosen 3. So, how do you pick your 3 for the week? Just think about the main categories of animal proteins you enjoy for dinner. You've got your poultry, like chicken or turkey, you've got beef, you've got pork, and you've got fish and seafood. So, for example, maybe this week your 3 are chicken thighs, ground beef, and salmon fillets. Next week, you might decide on pork tenderloin, shrimp, and ground turkey. It just keeps things fresh and simple. Now you might be thinking, oh, okay, Aaliyah, 3 types of protein, is that really enough for a whole week's worth of dinners? And this is where the magic really happens. And it ties directly into another simple strategy I use, stacked meal planning. You might also think of it as just cooking your protein once to use multiple times. This is one of the most effective ways I found to ensure you always have a head start on a healthy meal, even when life gets super busy. Here's how it works with your choose 3. Instead of buying just enough chicken for one meal, when you choose chicken as one of your 3 for the week, you'll buy a larger amount. Then you cook a bigger batch of that protein all at once, maybe grill a few chicken breasts, or brown a couple of pounds of ground beef, or roast several salmon fillets. You can do that main cooking step for each of your chosen 3 proteins. Now you have a supply of cooked, versatile protein ready to go in your fridge. That batch of grilled chicken becomes dinner one night, maybe sliced over a salad for a quick lunch the next day, or tossed into a quick stir fry later. Your cooked ground beef is ready for tacos, a quick bowl with rice and veggies, or a simple pasta sauce base in minutes. By cooking a larger quantity of your chosen 3 proteins early on, you've already prepped the hardest part for multiple meals. See how this approach makes high protein eating incredibly doable? You stack your meal planning by cooking once, and it saves you so much time and energy during the busy week. It reduces that decision fatigue and ensures you're not reaching for less healthy options out of desperation because you already have quick protein ready. Now, when you're looking at options for these 3 proteins in the store, keep these simple selection tips in mind. For things like chicken, turkey, pork, and beef, you want to look for a good color, typically pinkish red for beef, a nice pinkish color for pork and poultry, and definitely no grayness. Always check the packaging to make sure it's well sealed, and of course, check that expiration date. For pieces of chicken, I look for evenly sized pieces too, so that they cook evenly. That is to say, one piece isn't dry and overdone because it's smaller, while another larger piece is still raw inside. For fish and seafood, if you're buying fresh, it really shouldn't smell overly fishy. Look for clear eyes if you're buying whole fish, or firm flesh if it's a fillet. Frozen fish is also fantastic, often more budget-friendly option. Just try to avoid packages with lots of ice crystals, which can be a sign of freezer burn. And don't forget about super convenient options like canned tuna or salmon. I keep these on hand for quick lunches, and I count them outside of the choose 3. And one can of tuna usually packs over 30 grams of protein. So easy to get 30 grams with just a can of tuna. So mixing it up with your 3 choices can also help you with your grocery budget. Maybe you pick one slightly more expensive option that you love, like salmon, one mid-range option like chicken thighs or pork chops, and one really budget-friendly one like ground pork or beef. It helps balance things out. So remember the strategy. It's the choose 3 at the store for simplicity and variety, combined with cooking a bigger batch of each of those 3 for easy stacked meals all week long. All right, so you know what you're looking for now, your chosen 3 proteins, and how you'll cook bigger batches for those stacked meals. But the store itself can feel like a maze, right? Let's talk about getting through it efficiently so you can cut down on that time and stress. Here's my absolute favorite tip for exactly that: grouping your shopping list by section of the supermarket. Think about how you typically walk through your favorite grocery stores. Most stores have a similar flow. You usually start in the produce section, then maybe you hit the bakery or deli, then the meat and seafood counter, over to the dairy and eggs, then you navigate over to the inner aisles with canned goods, dry goods, pasta, rice, frozen foods, etc. Instead of just writing your list randomly as you think of things, write it out or type it with simple headings for each section you know you'll need to visit. Why does this work magic? Because you move through the store in one smooth, logical flow. No more crisscrossing back and forth between aisles because you suddenly remembered you needed eggs after you were just in the dairy section 15 minutes ago. It saves you so much time, energy, and drastically reduces that feeling of frantic searching or forgetting things. It helps you stay organized and feel confident that you're getting everything on your list without any unnecessary trips around the store. For example, your list might look like produce. That's where you list your fruits and veggies. Meat and seafood section, you list your chosen 3 proteins. Dairy and eggs, list your eggs, yogurt, and cheese. Inner aisles, canned goods, pasta, rice, spices, oils. Your frozen section, frozen veggies, maybe frozen fruit, or backup proteins. You can write it out on paper like this, use a notes app on your phone with headings, or even some dedicated grocery list apps let you categorize automatically. Find what's easiest for you. Couple this strategy with a quick check of your pantry and fridge before you even leave the house. That way, you don't buy duplicates of things you already have and it fits your schedule. Try shopping during off-peak hours. Less crowded aisles make getting through your list even faster and more pleasant. Okay, so let's zoom out for a moment and see how all these simple strategies work together to transform that feeling of shopping overwhelm. You might have started today feeling intimidated or confused just thinking about grocery shopping for healthy meals. But now you know you just need to make that one decision. Choose 3 key animal proteins for dinner this week, and you have simple tips for picking them out confidently. You have the game plan to cook bigger batches of those proteins using stacked meal planning so you're cooking once for multiple meals. And you have the strategy to navigate the grocery store efficiently and calmly by grouping your shopping list by section. See how that feeling of overwhelm starts to melt away? Shopping becomes a clear, organized mission instead of a daunting task. Getting those right ingredients home means you've already set yourself up for success and you're halfway to multiple delicious protein-packed meals with your stacked cooking ready to go. This isn't just about making shopping easier, it's about clearing a major roadblock so you can consistently eat well, feel energized, nourish your body, and actually enjoy your food and have more time for other things in your life. It makes healthy, high-protein eating not just possible, but genuinely doable and delicious on a regular basis. Now, if you're feeling ready to take these simplified shopping strategies and turn them into a complete system for making high-protein meals that are delicious and simple, I have something perfect for you. My free high-protein starter pack is designed to take everything we talked about today and give you the tools to implement it effortlessly in your kitchen. It includes delicious chef-crafted recipes that are perfect for using with your Choose 3 proteins and designed with stacked meal planning in mind. It gives you a flexible meal plan that shows you exactly how to use those cooked proteins throughout the week in different exciting meals. And yes, the grocery list included in the starter pack is already organized for efficient shopping, grouped by section, just like we discussed today. This pack isn't just recipes, it's about simplifying your entire high-protein routine so that you can cook with confidence, save time, and truly enjoy nourishing your body without the overwhelm. No more confusion at the store, no more guessing what to cook, no more bland meals. Ready to grab your copy and start simplifying your high-protein meals from shopping to eating? You can download your free high-protein starter pack right now. Just go to soulspacechef.com/high-protein starter pack. And I'll also put that link right down in the show notes for you for this episode so you can just click over easily. Don't let shopping overwhelm stop you from consistent healthy eating. Get your free pack and make delicious, high-protein meals easy and enjoyable starting today.
Thank you for listening to this episode from start to finish. If you have any questions or comments about what was shared, please click on the link at the top of the show notes to send us a note. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, and share this episode with your friends.